throw to Stafford. Blitz comes, Abdullah picks it up. Deep ball down the sideline and incomplete.
After review, the ruling on the field has been changed to an incomplete pass. Pass interference, defense number 23.
17th play of this drive. Davis looks his way, throws underneath, and touchdown, Wayne Gallman. Stafford sacked. Two-time Pro Bowler lines it up. It's the right upright. Castle. Jones went right through his hands, and it's intercepted.
Vinny Stubbs podcast. Let's get this train wreck back on track. I'm talking Loser-Palooza, guys. I don't know what the hell that was Friday, guys. I don't know what you want me to call it. Davis Webb, backup quarterback for the Giants, 14 for 20, 140 yards, and a touchdown. They had one drive that lasted 17 plays and resulted in a touchdown. Amir Abdullah fumbled the ball on a kickoff return. I called that. I said one of the main problems with Amir Abdullah is he has butterfingers and he's going to end up fumbling the ball at a crucial time, and he just so happened to do it during a kickoff return. Guys, that looks really bad. I don't know what the hell you want me to say. Davis Webb's carving up our starters on the first three drives. Play action, shotgun, I formation, single. It didn't matter. He was destroying us. Had a rating over 100. The defense looks terrible. Tavon Wilson can't cover. Nevin Lawson can't cover. It's just garbage. LeGarrette Blount last year, 4.5 yards per carry. At home against a 3-13 football team, he had 11 carries for 32 yards, averaging 2.9 yards per carry. I don't know what the hell's going on. I know it's preseason and you guys think I'm blowing everything out of proportion, but I'm not. There's cause for concern. I get it. They struggled and they look like shit against the Raiders. I panicked, but you guys didn't panic, but you probably should have panicked because now look. You guys sat there last week and you laughed at me when I said this might be a shrine to their entire season pertaining to the performance against Oakland. And they came out and they did the same thing at home against a 3-13 football team and the New York Giants with their backup quarterback playing and backup running back. Coleman ran up and down the field on us and made us look like the Three Stooges. Cornelius Washington cut. Steve Longa out for the season with the ACL tear. Cannot believe Matt Stafford got sacked twice. Taylor Decker looked like garbage. The entire offensive line looked like trash, but Taylor Decker really looked like garbage. He looked like he didn't give a damn. Letting Stafford get sacked twice like that? Like, what is going on? Is this the NFL? Or is this like is this Little League? I feel like I'm at an arena football game and I'm watching the Lions. And then getting in there is a disaster. Ford Field's a joke. There's like 500 security guards running outside of the stadium all over the place. The entire city looks like shit, and you're worried. You have 500 security guards outside of Ford Field. Like, what the hell is going on? What a joke Ford Field is. I couldn't even get in. I got there 45 minutes early, and I couldn't even get in there until the second drive because of security. Like, what a joke. Better get it together, guys. This is a huge cause for concern. I put a Twitter poll up, and I asked the question, is Matt Patricia losing his players? Is his scheme too difficult? 63% of you said yes, and I have to agree. He's going to have to go back to the drawing board and simplify his strategy because they look absolutely clueless. Clueless. All right, coming up next, guys. Lions sign yet another corner. Used to play for the Patriots and the Saints. Sterling Moore. They also signed ex-49er safety Marcus Cromartie. Kenny Galladay is the number 2 wide receiver. Richard Sherman's out talking shit about Roger Goodell, and good for him for talking shit about Roger Goodell because Roger Goodell's a scumbag. Steve Longa out for the season with a torn ACL. Lions cut defensive end at Cornelius Washington in a flurry of transactions. You can follow the Vinny Stubbs Show on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Starting week 1 of the regular season, I will be on Podomatic and iTunes as well. So I got all those things coming up next. Plus, I got predictions for the NFC East. Vinny Stubbs Podcast. On the road here, folks. This is from M Live. It is pertaining to the Lions signing another cornerback. This is from Kyle Minke. Allen Park, the Detroit Lions, are using their day off to fortify the depth in their secondary. And I'd like it, dude, you better do something fast because it looks really bad. There is no depth in their secondary. Coming to terms with cornerback Sterling Moore, according to a tweet from his agent. And surprise, he has a history with new Lions coach Matt Patricia. Moore went undrafted out of SMU in 2011, then flamed out in Oakland that year. But the Patriots signed him for the practice squad, promoted him to the 53-man roster. A week later, he wound up playing in 6 games as a rookie. All right. That's good and all. But we have major problems in our secondary. And, you know, it's really cute calling up a guy like Sterling Moore. This team is in big trouble, guys. They have a lack of depth in the secondary, period. I seen Lawson get burned twice against a backup quarterback. Deshaun Shedd is trash. Tease Tabor is garbage. It's bad. They have Diggs and they have Agnew. Agnew even played like garbage. Another guy that's garbage, Tavon Wilson. I know he's not a corner, but he is absolute garbage. If they do not have Glover Quinn in there, forget about it. You can expose that secondary all day long. It's a problem. Hopefully this guy, you know, can light a fire up under Tease Tabor's ass and Deshaun Shedd's ass and get these guys battling. I think Lawson's a lost cause. He looks absolutely brutal. All right, Detroit Lions also signed ex-49er safety Marcus Cromartie. This is also from MLive, and this is also from Kyle Minke. The Lions have announced another defensive back signing. They've added Marcus Cromartie. He's a safety and split with Stephen McClure. Oh, yeah, by the way, Stephen McClure cut. Cromartie originally was an undrafted rookie out of Wisconsin in 2013, where he spent 4 seasons in San Francisco before moving to Texas last year. He's appeared in 22 career games and made 1 start. Another guy, he's going to battle Glover Quinn, Tavon Wilson, and Quadre Diggs. And rookie Tracy Walker. Where's Tracy Walker been? He has not made an impact whatsoever. And I haven't even seen Miles Killebrew in the secondary. Barely at all this season. They need to get it together. It is a major problem. It's not just the secondary. It's the defensive line, it's the linebackers, and it's the second. It's the whole fucking team! Damn, I'm frustrated with the Lions. Damn, they look like God. I can't even read this shit. I'm so frustrated. Every year, I'm so sick of this shit. You get Matt Patricia and I go, finally they got a guy in here that knows what the hell's going on. Finally! It looks like he doesn't know shit! I'm sick of reading these articles. They're stupid. Who gives a damn? Both these guys are no-namers, and both these guys will never do shit on the Lions. It doesn't matter who you bring in. These guys are nobodies. This is news. Wouldn't waste my time. Damn, this defense is piss poor, and damn, this offensive line is shitty. Better get your asses in gear fast. We got 2 weeks. Looks like a circus out there. What a waste of time. Waiting all summer for this. Come out and do a podcast for you guys. They look like shit. Why am I wasting my time doing a podcast? They're going to go 5-11. Wasting my whole life on this garbage. They are not going to the playoffs. They won't even smell the playoffs. They are not going 500. I don't care. Laugh at me all you want. They will not go 500. They are garbage. They fired Caldwell for no reason. This guy is a moron. This is the worst team I've seen in the preseason since 2008. Am I overreacting? I don't know. But I am pissed off. I spent my money, my time, and my energy and effort on a podcast to cover these assholes. And they perform like garbage. I don't have to do this podcast. I just do it. I've been waiting all summer to do this podcast to cover a team that I thought was somewhat relevant and was going to push for a wild card win. That's it. I don't expect them to win a divisional playoff game. I don't expect them to even come close to winning a divisional playoff game. Or, God, for NFC Championship, out of the question. I just wanted them to win a wild card game. Or, score a touchdown in a wild card game. It's not going to happen. This season is over. Sorry. Wow. What to make of Kenny Galladay playing over Golden Tate in Lions 2 wide receiver formation? Who gives a damn? Kenny Galladay is way younger and way taller. Golden Tate from the get-go is a slot receiver. He was a slot receiver in Seattle, and he was a slot receiver the first 2 years under Jim Caldwell in Detroit. They only made him a number 2 receiver because our roster is garbage. We went from really shitty to shitty. Now you are a slot receiver. Matt Stafford started for the Lions on Friday night against the New York Giants. He had Marvin Jones on one side of the field too and Kenny Galladay on the other. But there was no Golden Tate. What are they trying to stir up here? Who cares? They have different formations, and when they have different formations, they have different guys they rotate. It was a 2 wide receiver set. Kenny Galladay's taller. Kenny Galladay gets more playing time if they're running a 2 wide receiver set. Another article that I'm wasting my time on reading. The Lions continue to piss me off. If you guys aren't mad, you are idiots. You should not watch the games, period. I listen to other people talk about the Lions, and they don't even care about what they've seen in the preseason. It's preseason. Don't worry. It's just preseason. You're crazy. It's preseason. What's wrong with you? It's preseason. Yay. What clowns? Don't worry, guys. And if they go 7-9, who cares? Go Lions! Oh. I heard one show where the guy, it didn't even sound like he could speak English. The guy is going, this guy gives him topics and he's supposed to talk about it. He's supposed to have some, they're supposed to have a banter back and forth and there's supposed to be some kind of rebuttal. The guy goes, Matt Stafford. The guy goes, oh, Matt Stafford, good. Well, Matt Stafford put up 30 touchdowns last year and 13 interceptions. Your rebuttal. Oh, Matt Stafford, good. What the hell am I doing here? So Kenny Galladay is your number 2 receiver. When I come back, Richard Sherman sounds off against the new helmet rule. And I have to agree with him 100%. I'll save it. Steve Longa out for the season, and the Lions cut defensive end Cornelius Washington. The Stubbs Podcast. Welcome back to the Vinny Stubbs Podcast. You can listen to the show every Monday and Friday on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. All right, guys. I just read this article from the Detroit Free Press, and it's regarding to what Richard Sherman had to say about the new helmet rule. And before I read it, I agree with him 100% in what he said. You know, you guys might laugh at Richard Sherman. He's a lot older than he used to be, and he's not as much of a shutdown cornerback as he used to be. This guy needs all the help he can get. I mean, these flags getting thrown. You should see the play that he's talking about, too. It is absolutely retarded. I retweeted it on my Twitter if you guys want to take a look at it. I side with Richard Sherman. San Francisco 49ers cornerback Richard Sherman sounded off in a revised rule aimed to take the use of the helmet out of tackling, calling it idiotic and saying the NFL will be flag football soon. Okay, so what? That's exactly... Yeah, I agree 100%. It will be flag football soon. The rule, which intends to promote player safety, was approved in March and penalizes any player, offensive or defensive, who initiates contact with his helmet and to any part of an opposing player's body. In egregious cases, officials have the option to eject a player from a game. This is absolutely ridiculous. I don't even understand why I even follow the NFL. Like, there is no point for me to even pay attention to this anymore. They are literally turning it into flag football, and they are destroying the game that we love. The XFL is coming out next season, and guess what I'm going to be watching? The XFL, because this is ridiculous. It makes it easier for the referees to dictate the outcome of the game and control the spread for Vegas. I'm convinced either you're doing that or you're trying to destroy the game on purpose. Why else would you do this? This is the worst thing you could ever do to your product. They are completely watering down the game that we love. It's just taking it away from us. They are literally telling us, you can't have football anymore. No, bad. Football is bad. You're not allowed to watch it. You're not allowed to support it. You're not allowed to get involved. Don't let your kids play football. What? What the hell are you guys talking about? There has to be something in a clause in a contract that the player signed that says, when you turn 50 years old, you are going to be wearing a helmet and you are going to talk like a 2-year-old kid. That's it. Like, these guys know what they're getting involved in. I wish that I would have played more football in high school and would have been good enough to play in the college or the NFL. I would know what I'm getting into. These players retire from the NFL and they spend all their money in titty bars and they buy all these cars and all these mansions and then they run out of money and then they try to sue the NFL. So this is what it's come to. And you got a Poindexter puppet like Roger Goodell that does whatever the owners say. And he is single-handedly destroying this game. In 5 years from now, this sport might not exist anymore. And you can thank Roger Goodell. This guy, forget Gary Bettman, this guy is Hitler reincarnated. He is completely dismantling the NFL and destroying it. I hope the XFL takes off. I think it's going to. I think Vince McMahon's very smart. It came out in 2001 and bombed. The NFL wasn't as bad as it is now. In fact, the NFL was amazing in 2001. Now, I feel like I'm watching a lingerie football. This is ridiculous, guys. Pretty soon they're going to have players wearing pink out on the field making out with each other. Like, is that what they want? Oh my God, stop tackling him! Leave him alone! You can't hit me! You can't tackle me! Like a bunch of 5-year-old girls. What the hell is going on? Guys, I'm not kidding you. You have to go on my Twitter page and you have to look at this penalty. It is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. I cannot believe that was a penalty. He literally tackled him. That's a penalty. Whoa, did you just tackle him? 30-yard penalty. Oh, you want to talk back, huh? 40-yard penalty. What? I can't wait for the XFL. And that's final. Steve Longa out for the season with a torn ACL. Lions expected to move him to IR today. What a shame. He had a big impact on our special teams. And we have no depth at linebacker. And now we really don't have any depth at linebacker. Now you have to tinker Miles Killebrew at that position. Because we literally don't have anything. paper thin. The Detroit Lions special teams unit has just taken a big hit. Linebacker Steve Longa tore his ACL in Friday night's exhibition loss against the New York Giants, according to a source with knowledge of the injury. He is expected to be placed on injured reserve. Longa suffered an injury while chasing Giants quarterback Kyle Loletta in Friday night's 30-17 preseason loss against the Giants. Yeah, not good. We have Gerard Davis, Devin Kennard, and Christian Jones. Besides that, everything is up in the air. The depth chart, there's practically nothing there. So, we are so screwed. What are we going to do at linebacker? You can't substitute Gerard Davis and Devin Kennard out of the game. They're going to have to play every single snap. You got Reese Maben, you got Jonathan Freeney, and you got Freddie Bishop. That's not good. We are in big trouble. And you got another guy by the name of Trevor Bates. I'd never heard of him before in my life. Steve Longa was a player that you could have rotated, and he was a major factor on the special teams, and he's gone. We got big problems. That's not all. Detroit Lions cut defensive end Cornelius Washington in a flurry of transactions. Michael Rothstein of ESPN. The Detroit Lions cut veteran defensive lineman Cornelius Washington on Monday. A somewhat surprising move, I would say so too, considering Washington's role on the team last year and the team's lack of defensive line depth. Yeah, you know what? The linebacker position's even worse. This team sucks. Washington played in 15 games for Detroit last season, starting with 224 tackles and 2.5 sacks. Why would you cut this guy? He had been taking reps with the first and second teams during spring and in rotations in training camp earlier in August. Again, why would you cut this guy? Firing the 28-year-old was one of flurry moves the Lions made Monday, including signing quarterback Sterling Moore and Dexter McDougal, along with Sterling Moore. This team is in big trouble, guys. This is so frustrating. I mean, I guess you can cut Cornelius Washington. It's they need to go out in free agency and find another linebacker. I mean, tinkering with Miles Killebrew's cute and all, but it's not going to work. He's not a linebacker. I think it's been established. He's been in the league for 2 years. He's a special teams guy. The defensive line's pretty stacked. I mean, there's not a whole lot of depth. But you have Francois, you have Zettel, Jeremiah Ledbetter, Christian Ringo. Those guys, the defensive line is really not that big of an issue. I mean, you don't have any star power. You have Ziggy Ansah. I mean, that's it. I mean, is he going to even stay healthy? You got Cam Johnson. You got Alex Barrett. The defensive line shouldn't even be a problem. I don't even care that they cut Cornelius Washington, really. I mean, he did have somewhat of an impact on the team last year, and he played 15 games. Had 24 tackles and 2.5 sacks. For the Detroit Lions, that's pretty decent, considering this team looks like it's 5-11. Patricia better know what the hell he's doing. He is losing this team. It looks pretty clear. I might be blowing it out of proportion, but, dude, the team looks really bad. And I will give him this. When I was at the game on Friday, he was all over the place. He would walk up to the special teams unit. After we got done talking to the special teams unit, he would walk up to the offensive line unit, and then he would leave them and go to the defensive line unit. You talk to the linebackers. He would take all these guys and you would talk to them one-on-one. The guy's all over the field. I got to give him that. Unfortunately, it's not translating onto the field. We got a lot of problems. Fix the offensive line. You need to sign a free agent linebacker. You have to do something in that linebacker position, and you just cut a defensive end. But more importantly, the linebacker position needs to be addressed. We have no depth. Gerard Davis, Christian Jones, and Devin Kennard cannot play all the snaps on defense. Coming up next, I'm going to do predictions for the NFC East. And then I'm going to get the hell out of here. I apologize for being so negative today, guys, but I spent a lot of time, energy, and money on Friday for the Detroit Lions, and doing this podcast for you guys, it drains me. You know, I have another job that I have to do too. It's not just this. I don't just sit here all day and do podcasting. I do this for you guys. So if I come off negative, I apologize. I don't like what I see. And if you do, I feel bad for you. NFC East picks when I come back. Vinny Stubbs Podcast. All right, guys. Let's do the NFC East picks and get the hell out of here. Washington, Alex Smith, first-year quarterback. His wide receivers suck. His tight end is average at best. I don't know much about his offensive line. The defense is average. And the owner's a moron. 5-11. New York Giants. I hate them, so do you, and anybody with a brain does as well. Just kick the Lions' ass. But they won't be kicking any ass in the NFC East. Eli Manning's back, but he's an old man. He's not the Eli he once was, and he really never was anything to begin with. 7-9. Dallas. Dak Prescott. He looks like Quincy Carter 2.0. If you don't know who he is, I don't know why you're listening to begin with. They have a running game, and that's about it. 8-8. Philadelphia Super Bowl. Philadelphia Eagles. How's that feel? They look to make their mark in the 2018 season as well by going 11-5 and winning the NFC East, guys. Wow. Did the Eagles beat the living shit out of New England or what? What a great year that was. That's the picks for the NFC East. Monday, I'll do the AFC South, and we'll break down the Detroit Lions at Tampa Bay. Guys, we really have to get our shit together. It's starting to get really scary. We look really bad. Stafford's getting sacked. The offensive line's caving in on every snap. We can't run the ball. We can't pass the ball. Stafford's going to have to stand in shotgun formation the entire season and throw slants and screens to Theo Riddick. We can't have it. Follow the Vinny Stubbs Show on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and by week 1, we'll be on Podomatic and iTunes. Thank you guys for listening. Tune in. I'm on every Monday and Friday. Vinny Stubbs Podcast.